Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. We are here, ready to play more Metaphor. We are about to actually get into some actual story stuff, finally. But yeah, let's get into some more Metaphor. Alrighty. So we decided we'll all help the villagers prepare for the festival, and once the effigy of the dragon god was complete, the sun was already down. I just realized you can't see the date with my camera right there.
Expect them to throw such a party before our departure. A far cry from our first night here in a cell.
I hear 'tis a festival in the dragon god's name, meant to ensure a safe sea voyage. In place of a lighthouse, their fire is kept burning until the morning.
I say, these locals are barely well informed. They're up to their gills in practical and theoretical magna theory. Not as focused on the mechanicals as us mainlanders, but the land's far from barbaric. Insights could rather improve the runner's design, you know? Ah, speaking of, I finished with the lance replica.
We're finally ready.
Woo! Grand, ain't it? Dell's all better, and we've got some choice souvenirs to bring back to Lord Luis.
We're not out of the woods yet. Don't be too quick to celebrate.
Hey, come on, lads, loosen up! It's a party! We've all earned a little fun.
And you? What's a sanctist fat cat like you doing getting all giddy over it?
What did he just call him? A fat cat. I thought he said something way worse.
It made me pretty knowledgeable about our world, but turns out most of what I knew was lies. Makes me think maybe this is how my old father felt.
Crier of family trade, eh?
Imagine that.
The Crown Theocracy does love their hereditary titles. Yeah, my old man was a serious fella. More than me, that's for sure. He called out corruption where he saw it. Made him a pariah. But there you go. Yeah, I remember he once flat out suggested igniters were more dangerous than the Crown Theocracy was letting on. And there was that riot in the slums. Of course, the one started by that Parapus. The church dismissed it as paupers revolting over their conditions. But my old man, well, he said it wasn't a riot at all. Outright accused the Crown Theocracy of turning an innocent Parapus feral through horrific magic experiments.
What?
Who knows what really happened there? Either way, nobody took my father seriously. He was condemned as a liar and he died young. Just the way it is, I suppose. People will always prefer their own feelings to the truth. Happiness is a luxury hard to come by otherwise. Hard to care about the world after that. I was a poor excuse for a crier, if you ask me. Yet, here I am. It's beyond weird. Somehow, you lot have managed to make the world seem interesting again. I'm genuinely grateful. You know, makes a man feel as if he owes you.
You owe us nothing. Can't afford any rumors about you being biased in our favor anyway.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Honestly, though, you need anything, you've got me on your side. I'll do what I can. For now, I'll catch a boat ride to Altabury ahead of you. Once this festival's over, it'll be farewell for the moment. So, let's make this a bash to remember.
He just ran away. Naruto style.
Now, time for some fun. Bring out the treats.
What are those?
Those are? The fruit is called dragon's tears. They're quite precious. Their tree only bears once every few years.
Ah, 'tis delicious. Beyond delicious.
Dude, Hulkenberg
Wonderful.
loves food. She's crazy.
Hulkenberg's tastes are a dubious metric at best.
Please, it's the rarest of harvests, and we would like to share it with you.
The juice bursts forth.
Sounds- I feel quite.
Does it make you drunk?
Right?
What's going on? There's something odd about the way those two are laughing.
But he's crying.
What is this fruit?
You see, in old long times ago, people ate this to reach a higher plane of existence and talk to the gods.
It gets you high.
Ha! Yes, you certainly appear to have reached some higher state. Glad I passed.
That's funny. These fools are doing drugs out here at the bonfire.
Phew. Finally back to normal. Well, that sure felt like a festival. Not that I'm complaining. Oh, and did you hear? The people of this island make a wish over that flame. It's said that if you write your wish on a piece of paper, it'll bring you good luck. You don't often get to relax like this. So why don't you go there with someone?
So we certainly have plenty of time. This is a rare opportunity.
Have you decided on someone?
So we get to pick someone? Who do we get to hang out with? You know what, dude? We never hang out with Gallica. We should probably just hang out with her, right? We never hang out with her.
It's so pretty.
Sancticism and this village's religion both have a god, right? And they all believe God protects them and makes them happy. But is it actually possible for everyone in the world to be happy? If someone's not happy, what is their God doing? Watching them?
Hold on.
Sounds easy. I'd prefer God to step in if someone needed help. I just want there to be less unhappiness in the world. Though I suppose it's pretty hard to quantify, really.
Well then.
Anyway, back to reality. Shall we go make our wishes? Nothing to lose from trying, right?
Yeah!
There we go. And if you don't grant my wish, you'll regret it, you hear? I think adding that gives it better chance. Totally coming true now, right? Don't mess with me if my wishes don't come true. I wished for all the world's anxiety to be replaced with hope. Why not dream big, right? When we don't know what lies ahead, that's when we are the most anxious, right? And that's pretty much true of most of our lives. All the more reason to enjoy life for what it is and hope for the best. You've got to expect to be anxious about stuff. That's a good way to look at it.
Right.
You've got a pretty good perspective. I'm just saying. If we can wake up the prince, I think that would give people hope. And considering how far you've come, I think you're going to see it through. Have you really thought about that? How far you've come? I mean, you've grown so much since you got pushed off the cliff in the desert. I should know. I've been there the whole time. So what did you wish for? We wished for our journey's success.
Right.
I'm sure that's when you make a wish, God listens.
Thank you.
I've had a great time at this festival. Thank you for that. I'd like to give you something. Not as thanks or anything. I found it on the beach the other day. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Take care of it, will you? Thank you. It's a weapon. A weapon? Okay. Getting it back to the runner was a nightmare, so you better equip it. What do you think it is? The whalebone rod. Yeah.
Tell, you hear all that? What that cry was talking about?
Yeah. Sounded proper familiar to me.
It's easy to blame the Sanctus Church for the whole thing. But maybe not all of them were happy about it. Makes you think. I remember St. Rella looked like her heart was breaking, seeing us at death's door. Maybe she knew what was going on. Del, what do we believe in, really? Are we absolutely positive that, Count Luis's vision and ours have enough in common?
I thought we were done talking about this. He's the reason we got this far. A couple of parapus orphans. Nobody else wants us. Nobody cares about us. We'd be nothing without Count Luis.
I know, Del, but he makes all them speeches about equality, but in the end, he's gonna leave the weak to die. I heard him talk about his ideal world, and it sounds like a world where we'd have died alone in the dirt. No Saint Rella to save us. Is that what we're fighting for?
Too late for that kind of talk, brother. Blood on our hands either way.
Hey! What are you two doing on your own? Come join the party! You'll miss the whole festival.
Lady Juna.
What's that look about? I know you're absolutely smitten with me, love, but you needn't be so tense about it.
Do you plan to kill Count Luis?
What are you talking about? He can't be killed anyway.
Lady Juna, I don't think your heart is with Count Luis anymore. Or maybe it never was. There's a side of you that you only show them. But I'm starting to think we've never seen the real you.
Are you really so worried for Count Luis? He's the one who measures worth in power. So what would he think to hear you underestimating him?
So you don't actually work for Forden or nothing then? No ulterior motives?
I've been with Count Luis since before the race even started, haven't I? Ever since he was stripped of command.
Hey, Del.
I'm sorry if I made you worry. That's my fault. But trust me on this. I promise I'll make sure this world's got more to give you two than despair.
I saw it with my own eyes. That lance gets past the king's magic. That means it can kill a candidate. They were testing it among themselves, and Lady Juna was right there with them.
You serious? How are we supposed to report that to Count Luis?
Don't worry, it's my own problem. I told you to leave the thinking to me.
You know, I really like Lady Juna's songs, and I like seeing you listening to her when you get the chance. You got arm around your heart, Del, and her music pierces it. I don't want to kill Lady Juna, and you don't either, Del. Do you?
Bro, how could he know? Like, how could you choose Luis's side?
So?
The dude literally killed a king. Like, he's not a good guy. And then he's gonna act like we're the bad guys? He's crazy. Absolutely insane. When we first arrived, I never thought we'd be making the journey to Altaberry with hope in our hearts. Oops. I hope the brothers are okay. I don't think they know the particulars of our plan, but we can't let our guard down. They know a lot more than we think. I just hope we can get out of here without being attacked.
I beg your pardon, but
Since we'll be journeying together for some time, I want to thank you for having me. I'm sad to leave my brother and will miss him dearly, but I know in my heart this will be a grand adventure.
Yes.
I cannot have my stomach grumbling while afield. I should buy myself a small ration of something before we depart. The trouble is finding a food that will not spoil. Everybody's worried about all this stuff, and she's worried about food, bro.
Good night.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
I must say, I am sad to leave the island. If for no other reason than every meal here has been an utter delight. I'm almost certain you said the same thing when we left Browhaven and Martira. A new world of cuisine is but a few days away. If you'll just be patient. Mind your tongue, Stroll. A few days is thrice as many meals. Wow, you really are taking this hard. Well, when you've said your goodbyes to the people and the food, meet at the Gauntlet Runner.
Hold on.
Okay then.
Grand, isn't it?
All right, then.
Let's go.
Looks like the sea's settled somewhat. We've got a map of the Altaberry region too. I'd say we're set.
Now we can leave with our minds clear and pockets full, eh? Where are those brothers? Out on errands?
I say we just leave them behind.
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
Well, long as we've got a minute alone, let's go over our plan. As soon as we get to Altaberry, we give Luis the fake lance Nuris made up for us.
while I hold on to the real one.
Then, on the eve of this divine relic dedication ceremony, we use the real lance to end this, once and for all. He doesn't know we've worked out its powers. We'll use that to our advantage. Juna, we'll need you to convince Luis to attend the eve of the festival.
Oh, I've been pestering him to do so for a while now. Don't want him spending the evening in his heavily fortified Skyrunner after all.
So where is the false lance in question?
Right here, ready to poke an eye out. Oh, what do you think? A dead ringer, eh?
Such detail. Even I can't tell them apart.
When we get to Altaberry, we'll pass off the fake to Luis. Then, we execute our plan.
Oh, by the way, I was talking with the Magnus brothers earlier. Think they might be onto us.
That's not good. We'll need to be more careful.
Wait, footsteps. Speak of the devils. We'll need to hide the real lance.
You're late. We were about to leave you behind.
Right, all present and counted. Anchors away, what?
Aye aye, me hearties!
Oh god.
What's wrong then? Is that not the customary exclamation of sailors? Mr. Batlin was very specific.
I wouldn't believe everything he says.
It's really funny.
Strange melancholy, leaving the people we have so recently come to know.
We'll be back with some fantastic tales to tell them too.
Yes, certainly.
This is Altaberry Heights. We'll make faster progress back on land.
Alright, so we'll make it there in time without a problem. This fine wind will have us making landfall by the morrow. So the whole trip should be 2 nights with 3 days of travel. So I'll only have to endure 1 day of being rock sick. Now there's a grim face if I ever saw one. Captain, for Stroll's sake, let's make haste. Full speed ahead to Altaberry Heights, capital of Monterio. Take care and don't tumble overboard.
With a new ally in tow, the Gauntlet Runner at last departs the island toward the eastern side of the inland sea. Their destination is the Principality of Montario. Its vast mountain crags, so different from the western terrain, can be seen clearly from the water. Their forthcoming task would be their greatest trial yet. They felt the tension rise in wordless silence.
Indeed.
All right, we'll get our free food.
This is...
Wouldn't you guess it? We're gonna read a book. We're gonna read How to Walk Outside the Island. This appears to be a Mustari authored travelogue and guide of land outside the island. It's been thoroughly annotated by Yufa. I have yet to start reading it, so let's go ahead and read it and gain some tolerance.
All right.
The Gauntlet Runner arrives at Cliffshade Camp just as the curtain of night descends on the wilderness. Ideal for their cover, it works both ways, as monsters and rogues alike await their victims in the shadows of the rocks. Only a Gauntlet Runner offers peace of mind against such dangers, a large reason why they are so sought after.
Indeed.
All right, so we're gonna do the same thing we did in the morning. We're gonna read the book, the same book.
All right.
More tolerance for me, baby. Dang, we're almost maxed out.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
It would seem that...
We now stand among the mountains. I have long gazed at the peaks of Montario from the island, but I never imagined I would see them this close. Altaberry remains cold year-round, so quite accordingly, its people have perfected the art of the piping hot situ, and it's home to the foremost opera house in the kingdom as well. I suppose that will be the stage of our confrontation with Louise. Let's keep our hopes high.
So?
Grab our supplies again, and then we'll read the book. No, wrong book. Living in a totally foreign culture sounds so difficult, and yet this author and Yufa are jumping right into it. And now our tolerance goes up. With that, I've finished the book. I feel like my understanding of the world has deepened. So we got 12 tolerance, and we're maxed out.
Tolerance.
This is of the future a ruler must possess.
Come look at this!
Ahoy, you lot. Aren't going to believe the view I'm seeing outside. I'm hitting the brakes.
The Gauntlet Runner makes a short stop in front of Colorodeo Cliff, a bluff so tremendous it fills one's vision. Its massive fissure is said to be the vestige of a god's wrath, as only a force capable of splitting heaven and earth could cause it. Perfectly balanced by the work of nature, or the wrath of gods extolled in the myths of creation, none can say.
Damn, that does look cool.
Whoa.
Absolutely incredible. I've heard of sheer cliffs before, but I never imagined something like this. Indeed. Falling off of that precipice would be unfathomably terrifying and exhilarating, I imagine. Makes me want to jump. Damned boar-faced Sanctus Scullions. What has got it into you? That was rather pleasing. It's quite refreshing, you know, to pull your voice from the very bottom of your gut and yell in such a manner.
Speaking of...
I am reminded of the time you were all yelling before me. It was a rather terrible experience, I admit, but if I may, I would like to try my hand at this yelling.
Listen!
Never again shall I sleep in a roach-infested inn. I feel you. How amusing. I would also like to try screaming as well. What's the matter? I fully intended to do it, but the words just won't come out at all. This girl is just too charming. Never change, love. Well, does anybody have something to yell about? I sense that gazing off the cliff's edge and being filled with an unexplainable urge to scream has somehow broadened my wisdom.
All right.
I didn't expect to be smarter from that.
As for me...
I suppose it's old Nera's turn. I've prepared a list of complaints that I wish I could recite to you all on a daily basis, and rather chilly out here, isn't it? We should head back before we catch a cold. Yes, we shouldn't allow ourselves to spend too much time in these distractions. But I must scream. That's so funny. I've drawn this place. Here. Nice.
The Gauntlet Runner stops amidst rocky terrain as twilight envelops the wilderness in darkness. The twinkling lights are not all stars. Some are the eyes of monsters, peering through the dark. To await the dawn in comfort and peace is a privilege only the Gauntlet Runner can provide.
So we're gonna read Pride and Persuasion.
All right.
The eloquence is increasing.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
It's nearly time.
Only a ways further until we reach Altaberry. The city is likely abuzz with activity related to Saints' Day. I wonder if Luis is already there. Sooner or later, we have to hand Dracodius over to him. One must wonder what the brothers will tell him of our time on the island. I hope they will leave out any unnecessary details. We just have to stand tall and be confident. If you have to sell a lie, look them straight in the eye and say every word like you truly believe it.
All right then.
Got a sec?
Oh.
We got some more food, and wouldn't you know it, we're gonna read the book, The Future of Magic.
All right.
Nira speaking.
I've got something on the old girl's radar, so we'll be taking a short stop.
Before Altaberry's mountains, the Gauntlet Runner sets upon the murky graveyard. The colossal bridges overhead are an impressive sight. During the Annex War, this land was a fierce battleground. Many soldiers, unable to return to their loved ones, found their final rest here. But few honor the dead. Their spirits take no solace. Their tragic remains are desecrated by wild dogs, leaving their bones exposed to the elements.
Wow, this is a crazy looking place. These bridges are huge, an area defined by its numerous valleys. The bridges connect the flatlands and increase the amount of places in which people live. That makes sense. But if these bridges were to fall in battle, those people would end up isolated. All fascinating, but have you looked at what's directly in front of you? Those are the bones of people, aren't they? They are the remains of those who fell during the Annex War. This was the site of a fierce battle, and the dead were left to the elements, denied the dignity of a proper burial. This land is cursed. Speaking in such superstitious terms avails us not. Please, people fought and died here, are real people. It brings me no pleasure to see it, yet it's valuable to experience the cold reality of battle beyond the legends and tales of valor. Carve this memory into your hearts. That is why the magla that drifts about this place carries such an oppressive weight. I can feel the sadness and regret of those whose lives come to an end here.
All right.
We gained wisdom.
Hey.
Something wrong near us? There's a shadow behind you.
Lad.
Hey, do refrain from doing that again. Things of this matter are not my forte. Why, Nearest, I'm surprised you put in any stock in scary stories. You're a more gentle soul than I gave you credit for. Too true. Too true. Before all else, I am a delicate flower. Well then, shall we make a quiet departure, so as not to rouse the dead? Ruse the dead, maybe?
That's my fault.
I'm sorry to have made such a fuss. I would like to give those who died a proper send-off, and drew this with that in mind.
Altaberry Heights, capital of the Principality of Montario, the eastmost country annexed into the Kingdom of Uchronia. The mountain path leading to the city begins near the coastline, but few Gauntlet runners can contend against its steep slope. Those who complete the arduous climb are rewarded. City lights, dusted with snow, twinkle beautifully in the valley. But what awaits the party there is no reward, but their greatest trial thus far. The hour of reckoning draws near, and they steel themselves anew.
The seat of sanctism, Altaberry. Truly, I never thought I would see it in person. What is that giant structure?
The monolith. In Sanctus Scripture, they tell of how the stone was shaped by God's own hand.
It's afloat. I'd only heard rumors that it didn't touch the ground, but to see it now.
Are we finally moving again?
Just another trip for our songstress.
We're here at last.
Alright, so we decide to present Luis with Dracodius, Lance of the Dragon God, aboard his gauntlet runner, the Charadrius. Charadrius. Let's hope he doesn't find out the lance is fake.
Well done. So this is the Lance of Legend, is it?
I am called JfrikinC, priestess of the island. For personal reasons, I have joined them on their journey.
You do not detest me?
I owe my life to them, and I understand they operate under your guidance.
Indeed. I had heard you were able to obtain the lance without incurring the islanders' hatred. Quite a feat, now that I know it to be true. Well done. At last, it seems that even fate has abandoned Forden. Thanks to you, I was spared the effort of sifting through ashes to find this. If the islanders could not be persuaded, my next course would have been to raze their village to the ground. The Caradrius' batteries would make that a fairly simple task.
What?
Why are you surprised? At times, sacrifice is necessary to save the many. Was that not the exact reasoning by which your countrymen would have seen you die?
You're...
Have the lance brought to my chamber later. Thank you for your hard work in spite of your wound. Take care of yourselves. Now we need only to wait until tomorrow for the Saints' Day festival.
The whole event will be held over 2 days at the Opera House.
The first day is the eve of the festival, and I'm scheduled to sing. Hope you're looking forward to it.
Main festivities start on the second day. That's when all these divine relics will be dedicated and sealed. It's aimed at proving beyond a doubt that Sanctism is the highest authority.
All kind of daft though, isn't it? If they were that confident in their scriptures, you'd think they wouldn't have to bother with all that.
This is where Forden dies. He and Sanctism itself. At the very least, it's worth giving him a memorable end.
Lord Louise, I do hope you'll come and watch me sing this time. We missed you at the opening ceremony. If you're not there, it'll hardly be worth it.
You needn't worry. Having come all this way, it would be a waste not to show.
Well, I'm off to check out the Opera House. Want to make sure everything's shipshape for my solo, of course. The rest is up to you.
You have all performed admirably. You exceeded my every expectation. Soon, Forden's reign will come crashing down. From this point onward, I would have you forfeit the competition and dedicate yourself fully to my campaign.
Understood.
For now, rest your wings a while. Tomorrow's festivities will be a grand show indeed.
It seems the lance passed muster. Eurus is a peerless craftsman, if not else.
Yufa, are you okay?
He would have destroyed my home. How could he suggest such carnage with not a shade of guilt? I was sure that deep down, all people are inherently good at heart. Now, you made it sound like you were bound to kill him at any cost. And now I understand why.
I see. Then let's get back on track and go find ourselves an inn. You've got more supporters now. I dare say we'll find better lodging than we could before.
I wouldn't be so sure. This city's in the palm of Forden's hand, and we're the ones who humiliated him during the exhibition.
All the same, we're about to do something big. To be honest, I'll take anywhere, so long as I can stretch out.
Let's set up camp right here.
Here's as good as any spot to make camp.
Why? That's worse than staying in the runner.
Then why don't we look for an inn run by a Mustari?
I thought this city was the seat of the church.
In times before the church, it's said many diverse faiths and teachings took root in this city. That's why Montario is the only mainland nation that trades with the islands.
Indeed. My grandfather often said that until his generation, the only prominent building of the Sanctus Church was that opera house. Though the prevailing story now, of course, is that Sanctism reclaimed this land from malevolent pagans.
Either way, I'm certain there should be quite a few Mustari who feign conversion and live in seclusion.
If one of these Mustarians really exists, it may work in our favor. Let's look for it.
Speaking of...
If it is a Mustari-owned inn we seek, I know of one in the center of town called the Skyward Tavern. I recall it being rather pleasant, with very little that would point to its Mustari roots.
Certainly.
It was on Dia Franco Street, if I'm not mistaken. So cold. At least Hulkenberg is in her element. Can we get going before we freeze, though?
All right, then.
There is supposed to be a gold beetle, like right on the sidewalk here. There it is.
All right, then.
What in the blaze? Oh, cripes. Hang on. That's
the one from the exhibition.
Yeah, boy, there's another gold beetle right here.
Hang on. That's the one from the exhibition.
Thurs, the only game in town.
Hey, listen.
What in the blazes?
All right then.
Oh, crepes.
Wonderful, isn't it?
Hey, listen.
What in the blazes?
All right then.
Well met, eh?
You're not serious.
Hey, listen.
There's nothing there.
Thurs, the only game in town.
Hang on. One from the exhibition.
Say there.
Right. Elden rubbish.
My money's on Santa Vex Fordham.
That damned Luis. Look, I don't give a toss who's king. I just want some coin.
Alright, so apparently we can get a gold beetle from here. Yeah.
Don't give a toss who's king. I just want some coin.
Oh, how did I win?
All right then.
Hang on. That's the one from the exhibition.
Who'll take the crown now?
You there?
Hang on. Let's see. Yep.
Who'll take the crown now? Who'll take the crown now?
This place.
Who'll take the crown now?
You're not serious.
All right then.
Hello there.
Yeah, amazing.
Now what am I to do?
Yeah, amazing.
All right then.
How grand. How grand. Well, nothing I can do about it.
All right then.
Wonderful. I'm chuffed.
Oh, fine. That will be quite enough.
Amazing. Boy.
Gold beetle. Let's go. We're just missing one. It says it's by a pillar. I don't see any pillars, bro.
Amazing.
That will be quite enough.
All right then. Let's go. All right then.
Right.
Bro, I found it. Alright. There's a golden beetle. Thank God. Okay, so that should be all of them. We're good to continue.
All right then. Let's go.
Not serious.
All right then.
Hello there.
Yeah, amazing.
The Skyward Tavern.
Welcome. Wait, a band of youths with a knight and a Ujif. Are you perhaps the candidate who brought Joanna the Sanctoress to confess?
One glance and you knew. Listen, we just...
I don't care if you did the deed or not, but please take your business elsewhere. I'm sorry, but I have my own reputation to think about.
You follow Sanctism's teachings?
You? A Mastari who wears no mask?
I'm Euphausia. I'm the priestess of Verga. No, of Edria.
The priestess? Impossible. The island priestess would never leave the village behind.
I have my reasons, but I wish to see the outside world that I might better protect our island. I have no proof, but...
You would raise another tribe to the throne.
'Tis a longer story than we've time to tell. We only wish to avoid a tyrant's reign. Yet 'tis not from our own ambition that I speak so. The throne belongs to one truly worthy.
But if you insist, we will leave.
It's just... You look so like the priestess before you, I can't just turn you away. Fine. You can stay here, as long as you don't make trouble for me.
Thank you. I suppose it is easier to understand each other without the masks in the way.
Not all of us mainland Mastari hate the Sanctus Church. We'd rather preserve the peace we have. And, well, it's a sorry excuse for an innkeep who turns away travelers.
Thank you. We're in your debt.
Oh, look, they've got food and booze here too. And it's so much cooler.
They got
Between
booze.
fewer bucks. Perfect.
This place is actually really
It
nice.
seems they have an imitation of the island spring here. We can bathe. I should invite Juno when she's back.
Bathe? You'd be mad to hope a hot spring replica could take the edge off this chill.
Cold or not, there's nothing more refreshing than bathing. Would you care to join us?
I
Stroll's a
should
dirty
think
boy.
not,
He don't like taking
for
baths.
reasons too numerous to count.
Why?
Anyway, strategy meeting. Let's get on with it.
So we seek to assassinate Luis. A difficult task. But you look to have an idea. Let's have it.
First, the when. Under normal circumstances, we'd want to get him on the move. Maybe walking through a crowd while he's got less guards. That would be the plan. But unfortunately, that'd only work if he was someone with common sense. Someone without combat ability. Or someone who'd want to avoid collateral damage. And that isn't Luis. Worst case, he'd use his civilians as shields while more of his personal guard catch up. And things go sideways before we can get it done.
But once he's inside the Opera House, he'll have a security detail at his beck and call. Even if we can sneak in, getting to him.
If we can't target him in transit, and we've practically zero chance of getting close to him, that leaves us with only one option.
Do we join his guard?
We join his personal guard ourselves?
I considered that, but it might be tricky. We can't guarantee he'd allow it, and besides...
The real lance is overflowing with magla. It would be a dangerous gamble to keep it on hand. That sort of power is easily noticed.
So we attack from distance?
We attack from a distance.
Exactly.
A bow and arrow isn't gonna do much good, right? It needs to be the lance.
Of course. So, what if we threw the lance? Pierced him through from a distance? Yufa, as the priestess, you can command the lance to return to you if it's far away, right?
You would have me use that power in reverse to cast it out instead.
According to Juna, the ceiling of the Opera House has a chandelier big enough to support a person. From above, we'll target Luis in the royal box seats.
You realize the entire audience is below that lighting? A stunt like that would get us noticed instantly. Wait, are you suggesting we do this during the show?
Luis would be distracted. It's the best opportunity we could ask for. Besides, with Yufa there, we can even recover the lance easily.
Hold a moment. I would need to launch it like an arrow. Such distance and such speed would require incredible focus. I don't think I could do it while aiming.
Then just concentrate on the sheer mental force of it. Someone else can take over the role of actually throwing.
This gambit is sounding more far-fetched by the moment. But we also can't afford to wait for another opportunity.
There is no other opportunity. Luis intends to kill Forden during the festival. That means if we do nothing, the fake will be exposed, and so will we.
Indeed. Once our betrayal is made plain, we will never find a way to draw close to him again. This will likely be our first and last opportunity.
But who's actually going to do the throwing?
I'd rather leave it to you. With the royal magic protecting you, it's less likely that we'll fail this, even with interference. And besides, laugh, if you like. I know it sounds silly, but I really do believe you have the power to change fate itself.
Indeed. Everyone here knows that firsthand.
I feel the same. If I can trust you to do it, then I should be able to do my part as well.
Will you do it, Captain?
Yeah, I'll do it, of course.
All right. I'll do it.
Thanks. We owe you. On the day of, Juna will be at the venue ahead of us. We'll have her open the service entrance, and we'll infiltrate from there.
Is there anything I can do to help?
I want you to lure Luis's guards outside and cause a commotion while he's making the throw. I'm sure the Magnus brothers will be guarding the place too. Hulkenberg and I will secure the exit route in advance. Luis is a formidable foe, but we've overcome plenty of obstacles. Let's believe in the strength that got us this far. We can do this.
Don't worry about it.
I know there's a lot weighing on your mind right now, but let's just try and get some rest and prepare for tomorrow. All right. I think this is a good spot to stop. We can save the game and continue tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed it too, and I'll see you all later. You guys have a good day.